Okay, let's unpack this. We have a really fascinating deep dive today. We're looking into the world of vintage watch restoration. Just imagine a timepiece from the 1950s, an Omega Seamaster. It was a wedding gift for a grandfather, I believe, and now, well, it's in dire need of a comeback.
Yeah, and what's truly intriguing here is that this wasn't just a simple mechanical failure, not at all. The sources we looked at describe an almost sealed movement. It hints at a very specific, kind of unusual incident that basically froze the watch in time. It's like a horological mystery, really.
A mystery indeed. So when the master restorer first got their hands on it, after taking the case off, the hands would only tick for a few seconds, then stop completely. But the strange part is the pointer adjustment still worked fine. And here's the real clue, the detail that gives it away. The minute hand was twisted, like physically bent.
Right.
What could cause that?
That twisted hand. Yeah, that was the critical piece of evidence. The source reveals the root cause was extreme heat. It actually melted the watch's original organic glass lens. Now, organic glass back then usually meant like acrylic or plastic type material. So this molten stuff then cooled down, solidified, and literally pressed against the hands, stopping them dead in their tracks.
Wow. So the movement itself wasn't broken, just blocked.
Exactly. It appeared sealed and stuck, but the underlying movement was, surprisingly, pretty sound internally. But this bizarre event still messed up its timekeeping quite badly. It was running over 100 seconds slow per day, significant deviation.
So our mission today, then, is to follow this master restorer's really meticulous journey, bringing this piece of family history back to life. It's a whole process, right? Tackling the outside first, then the dial and hands, and finally, digging into the heart of the watch. We'll be focusing on that Omega 562 automatic movement. It's from the 1950s, a really celebrated caliber. And we'll even uncover some interesting historical quirks about it later on. So, given that kind of damage, this really specific traumatic event, what does that mean for the restoration approach? You're not just fixing a broken gear or something, you're trying to reverse the effects of heat damage step by step. What's the first big move in a situation like this?
Precisely. It's almost like forensic work for the restorer. The first step is always a really thorough assessment. And in this case, that Omega 562 movement itself was key to understanding what they were up against. As the source tells us, it's a 1950s movement running at 19,800 vibrations per hour. It gives you about a 50-hour power reserve and has 24 joules.
Okay, standard specs for a quality piece of that era.
Pretty much, yeah. It also features the Inca Block shock absorption system, which was a big deal back then. It protects the delicate balance wheel from knocks and drops, really improved durability. Plus, it has that smooth sweep second hand. It glides instead of ticking in the date window at 3 o'clock.
Right.
And its historical significance is huge. It's part of Omega's famous 500 series. They made something like 5.8 million of these between 58 and 67, mostly for the Seamaster line, like this one.
And while we're talking about the 562, there's that little detail the source mentioned, a number 1 marked on the Omega logo, right on the balance bridge. It feels like a code or something. What could that mean? We'll put a pin in that for a moment.
Good point. But before even getting deep into the movement mysteries, that initial check showed significant external issues needing immediate attention. Even after carefully taking the watch apart, you could still see residue from that melted lens and bits of the old sealing ring, deformed gaskets. They were stubbornly stuck inside the case. Really shows you how hot it must have gotten.
So, the restorer started with the outside, the case itself. You said despite the heat, the case was in surprisingly good shape.
Relatively speaking, yes. But it still needed an extremely thorough cleaning to get rid of all that embedded lens gunk, the old seal, those warped gaskets.
Yeah.
I mean, that alone sounds like a pretty painstaking job.
Yeah, I bet.
Absolutely. And the techniques here are all about precision. They used careful grinding, then polishing, to remove even tiny scratches and get that original factory finish back. And it's not just looks, right? It's vital for the watch's structure, making sure it seals properly again later.
Okay. And then there's the case back, that unique suspension style one. Interesting that the seahorse pattern in the middle didn't need special work. That's iconic for Seamasters.
It is. And yeah, that saved a step. The process for the case back was a bit different. They used a specialized lathe fixture just for polishing the outer rim really smooth. Then it got 2 rounds of full surface polishing for the whole case back. After all that, both the main case and the case back went into an ultrasonic cleaner.
Ah, the ultrasonic bath.
Exactly. High-frequency sound waves. It gets rid of all the trapped dirt, polishing wax residues, ensures everything's absolutely clean before putting it back together.
Right. Okay, so case is done. Let's shift focus to the watch's face, the dial. The sources showed, what, oxidation marks? Again, from the heat?
Yeah, visible marks. And the original plating, it had definitely lost its shine. But the most critical damage, really, was the hour markers, the fixed ones. They were actually broken.
Broken? How do you even fix something that small and delicate?
Well, that's where specialized techniques and maybe some specialized equipment come in. The restoration approach involves something the source called a time machine, sounds dramatic, I know, to perform time reversal. Basically, it's a sophisticated restoration process. Uses advanced methods, chemical and physical, to try and reverse the aging and damage effects. That was followed by another careful ultrasonic cleaning, getting it ready for its next life.
Wow. Okay. And the hands. You mentioned the minute hand was totally twisted, beyond repair.
Completely unsalvageable, yeah. And apparently, the original hands colors just didn't look right anymore either, probably due to the heat or age.
So, new hands needed.
Not quite new. The solution was to source a set of period-correct secondhand hands. But even these replacements weren't perfect. They needed their own meticulous grinding and polishing. Then they got a new plating. That's for both the color and protection. And the source makes a point about electrodegreasing before plating.
Electrodegreasing, what's that do?
It's crucial for getting a really superior, long-lasting plating finish. It uses an electrical current, basically, to break down any microscopic oils or grease. And the bubbling action helps physically dislodge tiny bits of dirt. It just creates the perfect, super clean surface for the new plating to stick to properly.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so case restored, dial treated, hands replaced and plated. And now I guess we get to the real heart of the matter. With the outside looking good, the focus shifts to the core of the timepiece, the movement. This is where the Omega Seamaster's heartbeat gets reborn.
Exactly. The main job for the movement was a really comprehensive cleaning. They used what's called a 5-in-1 movement cleaning machine. It's an automated system. Runs all the tiny components through multiple cycles of special solvents and rinses. Gets everything microscopically clean, ready for careful reassembly.
And I imagine after an event like that melting incident, some parts just had to be replaced.
Oh, absolutely. Key components needed swapping out. The original mainspring, for instance, was broken, so a new one was essential. Plus, 2 other critical parts were replaced due to wear or oxidation. One was a severely worn watch barrel.
The barrel holds the mainspring.
Correct. And the other was an oxidized date ring, the wheel that shows the date number. It really makes you appreciate how all these tiny, intricate parts have to work together perfectly.
Definitely. And as it's all coming back together, let's circle back to those questions we parked earlier. What about that one mark on the Omega logo on the balance bridge? You said it felt like a hidden meaning.
It absolutely was. That tiny little 1 mark, it's actually a fascinating look into Omega's thinking back in the 50s. Real foresight in modular design. It signifies the height of the hands. 1 means standard height. If it had a 2 hook, that would mean an increased height for the whole hand assembly, hour, minute, second hands.
Why would they need different heights?
Well, Omegas use different dial thicknesses sometimes, especially maybe on multi-layer dials, special editions, that kind of thing. Thicker dials needed taller hand posts, taller hands basically, to make sure they cleared the dial surface properly. No interference.
Yeah.
So this little mark was crucial guidance for watchmakers during assembly and also vital for anyone doing maintenance down the line. Just brilliant, really.
That is incredible attention to detail from way back then. Okay, and the other thing was the half-jump date mechanism. What was special about that?
Ah, yes. This was pretty innovative for its time. A real step up in user-friendliness. See, with traditional date mechanisms back then, you often had to wind the hour hand forward a full 24 hours just to advance the date by 1 day, which could be tedious if you haven't worn the watch for a while.
Right, I've done that. Takes ages.
Exactly. But this half-jump function, cutting edge for the 1960s, mind you, let you adjust the date much quicker. You just move the hour hand back and forth between roughly 9 p.m. and midnight. So 21:90 to 24:00, each pass advances the date. It showed how clever engineering could really improve the daily experience of using a mechanical watch, way before digital convenience.
That's really neat. It's just amazing, isn't it, thinking about the precision needed? All these tiny parts, specific functions, working together in perfect harmony. So now we're heading towards the grand finale. The final assembly stages. This must be the satisfying part. Bringing all those restored elements together, attaching that beautiful dial, the newly treated hands, putting in the fresh lens, the automatic rotor for winding, and finally, a brand new watch strap.
It really is. That's the moment it starts to feel like a complete watch again. And just revisiting that lens quickly, the original was organic glass, remember?
Yeah.
Which softened under heat. It really highlights why modern sapphire crystals, sapphire lenses, are so much better performance-wise. They just wouldn't have melted like that. Sapphire is incredibly scratch-resistant. much more stable thermally.
Makes sense. Okay, the moment of truth then. Placing the fully restored watch on the testing instrument, what did it show? How was the timekeeping?
The results apparently were astounding. Just fantastic. The time errors were incredibly small, really precise, way better than you might even expect for a vintage piece that's been through so much. It just reaffirms why experts often call the Omega 560 one of the best vintage movements ever made. A real testament to its inherent quality and, of course, the skill involved in the restoration.
Wow, what an incredible transformation. From a heat-damaged, seemingly frozen relic to a fully functioning, beautiful vintage Omega Seamaster. A cherished wedding gift from the late 50s brought back from the brink. It's just a powerful story of patience, skill, and the enduring art of horology, isn't it? What an incredible journey we followed today. Through all that intricate craftsmanship, that historical preservation, seeing this Omega Seamaster brought back to life like that, it really makes you appreciate the dedication, and it makes you wonder, too.
It does raise an interesting question, doesn't it, for you, the listener, maybe? When we see something old, something broken or aged, what really defines its value? Is it just its original state? Or is it the story of its journey through time, the story of its survival, and maybe the effort taken to restore it? Is it about what it was or what it managed to become again?
That's a great thought. So next time you see an old object, maybe don't just look at its current condition. Think about the hidden stories it might hold and the potential for a whole new chapter through careful, skilled restoration. We really hope you gained a deeper appreciation today for the art of horology and just the immense patience this kind of detailed work demands. Hopefully you feel well informed, maybe a little inspired, perhaps to look a bit closer at the world around you, seeking out those hidden narratives, that potential for renewal.
Want more amazing transformations? Hit subscribe, plenty of cool restorations coming up.